life I'd known I was bad, and my whole life I had tried to kind of mitigate that and find a way to live with myself. And I tried a lot of things. But the difference is that I didn't want salvation. I didn't want the Lord. I just wanted relief. I wanted to feel a little sedated so I didn't have to be me. When he brought me to repentance, what he did is he revealed that, yes, there is this big sin, and it was a big sin. But the bigger sin is that your whole life is a sin. Like everything that I had done was for me. And these horrible things that I had done, they weren't against my family. It wasn't against me, and it wasn't against my husband. The person that I had been sinning against was the Lord. And it was only him. I no longer wanted relief. I didn't just want to find a way to get by. He was the answer. And so when God brought me to repentance, it was just that. It was the complete brokenness that I just was willing to do whatever he asked me to do. And I thought that I was going to lose my husband, and I did think that I was going to lose my child. But I was okay with that because for the first time, as painful as it was and as confusing as it was, because I didn't really understand, but I knew that this was the answer and that I had to give myself completely over to him.
They just asked this one question: do you think God lies? I said, well, no, I certainly doesn't lie. Well, if he says that if you call upon his name, he'll save you, then is he going to or isn't he? Because if he's lying to you, that's a problem. But if he's not lying, then the problem is that you're not believing. You have no faith. And so I went home that night and I prayed again, asked the Lord to come into my life, forgive my sin. You know what happened? Nothing. It's the same thing. Absolutely nothing. And I literally said these words: Lord, if I go to hell, it's your fault, because I don't know what else to do. But I'm throwing myself on you.
So I show up at a summer camp, and it was a week-long summer camp where they just laid out the gospel front to back. One of the things that they did is they spent one whole chunk just talking about our sin and our rebellion. And I remember that hitting me, because I thought I had it all together, right? I thought I had everything that I needed, and I came face to face with the fact that I was incredibly proud and self-reliant and selfish. And the way I was operating in my life was one that had me at the center. And even though it seemed like everything was going well on the outside, the reality is that I was a proud, arrogant, lying thief. I think what made that moment different for me than just trying to be a better person was that I actually hated that sin that I saw in me. Other times it's like, there's some stuff you want to change. You don't really like in yourself. I can work on that. Yeah, I'd rather be this way than that way, But that was the first time that I felt a deep hatred towards that part of me.